Welcome to the Week 3 highlights from Gulfstream 2012-2013. Take a look back at the week of December 19th through the 23rd. On Wednesday, December the 19th, I was very excited. It seemed to be Todd Pletcher Day, as he had 3 runners in here that looked very strong. I was going to go out for the second half of the card and see my bet of the day, El Padrino, and the third runner from the Pletcher barn. So I bet the first one online. My pick was Chi, and he was clearly the best in the opener. But then when I went out on track, El Prado was 2-5, coming through the stretch, second behind a horse that had been off for 15 months. And as they came to the wire,
Alex, and decisive moment, El Padrino steadily getting to Citrus Kid, who keeps on fighting. Citrus Kid with something left. El Padrino's not getting him, and Citrus Kid comes back a winner. El Padrino has to settle for
second. I really thought that Javier Castellano didn't ask the horse for his best that day. I know they got bigger things down the road, but it wasn't like he was 10 lanes back. He had plenty of opportunities to win that race if he just would have been asked for a little bit more. And then to top things off, I lost in the last race. So it was a very disappointing day. But on Thursday, December 20th, it was bounce back day. I headed out to Gulfstream Park with a ton of money in my pocket because it was time to buy Florida Derby tickets. There will be 23 of us this year out at the Florida Derby, and I think we're going to get box seats where we'll have a box to ourselves a little bit close to the finish line. But while I was out there, I decided to stay for the races. I won my first bet of the day, De Fair Heaven, who took them wire to wire, spinning out of the turn. That's them in front. And then my bet of the day, I was really proud of myself because after losing with El Padrino as a bet of the day and a heavy investment on Wednesday, I came right back on Thursday where I liked Major Marvel in the 4th on the turf, and instead of just sticking with the bet that I had, I actually upped the ante and was rewarded as he came through the stretch.
Into the stretch, Major Marvel. Into the stretch in front, Jazzit tries to stick with Major Marvel, who opens up 2. Then Jazzit, Tom Kitten to the outside, followed by Sir Rabbit in 4th. Major Marvel and Javier Castellano just way too good. Major Marvel runs away at the wire over Tom Kitten.
Much the best. And then I scored again for my third win out of 4 selections when highest maintenance in the 7th was a Todd Pletcher debut runner. Boy, she looked dynamic.
Highest maintenance has the rail in the lead. Gadget Girl now not going with highest maintenance, who's pulling away. Highest maintenance by 3, by 4. And highest maintenance looking strong in her debut. Onto the wire, 5 lengths out in front of.
In fact, there was an article written about her the next day in the Daily Racing Form. Highest maintenance should be next seen in Stakes Company, I believe. Friday, December the 21st, I had 5 bets initially, but 1 scratched, and I decided not to bet the first one, so I went 0 for 3 on the day. Ironically, in one race, my top choice won and paid $37 for a $2 bet, but it was a race I had decided to pass. Saturday, December 22nd, it was Fairgrounds Super Santa Saturday. I had handicapped the Fairgrounds card, and I had 5 selections on the day. And with no racing in New York and no racing in California, I really hadn't planned to go out on track, but I did handicap the Gulfstream card. And then Kim and I decided that we would go out to dinner at our favorite restaurant, which is at Gulfstream, the Yard House, and see the Christmas lights spectacular display. So I watched the first few races here at home on HRTV, and then we went out for the last few races and for dinner. My bet of the day was in the 3rd at the Fairgrounds, the Blushing Katie Handicap. Daisy Divine was a multiple graded stakes winner and even had a grade 1 on her resume. She's running in a $75,000 stakes today against a bunch of horses, none of which were even listed stakes winners. The only problem was she was a front runner in the Fairgrounds. Turf usually does not play kindly to front runners, but as they turn for home,
past the quarter pole with Daisy Divine in charge. Went 3/4 in 1:13 and 4. She has a 6-length lead, and they're deep in the final furlong and a half, and Daisy Divine is still giving plenty. Forced Uproar now second, then Aquapaza, Francisca, and Necessary Luxury tailed off. It's Daisy Divine with an emphatic win over 4 rivals in the Blushing KD handicap.
Much the best, much the best. My co-best bet at the fairgrounds was Bind, who 2 years ago in 2010, he had been the first horse I'd ever put a primetime investment on as a first-time starter. He looked to be a graded stakes star in the making, but missed in 2 photo finishes in his next 2 starts, and then had been off for over a year. Came back today in a sprint race, and as they turned for home...
Stretch past the quarter pole. Half mile 45 and 2. Bind the leader. And now they're deep in the final furlong and a half. Bind in front. On the outside, Ganaguska Storm. Hud's Rebellion levels off to be 1 pace. Then on the outside, Triumph and Song. Then Le Mans. Inside the final 16th, it is Bind on return for Brian Hernandez Jr. Bind is back. Won by 2.5 in 1:10 and 1. The fastest sprint time of the day.
Oh yeah, primetime investment on Bind. I couldn't believe they let that horse go off at 6-5. And the day was a profitable one thanks to my second winner at Gulfstream, where in the 5th race I liked Parasol on the turf, going out for Team Calabrese. And though she was only 1 for 7 on the turf, she had been in the money 5 of the 7 times, and I thought she just looked much the best second off the shelf for the Calabrese trainer Luis Ramirez, who had just gaudy numbers, 52 and 65% in the apical categories. And as they turn for home...
They're into the stretch, and it's Smokin' Ali now in front. And to the outside comes Parasol. Delphinus is right behind them. Say Grace gives way at the rail. Pegasus Song and Imperial Striker next. It's Smokin' Ali and Parasol. On the far outside, Pegasus Song. Parasol's got the lead. Parasol will win it over Smokin' Ali.
I had doubled the bet. Parasol got me back over $40. So on the day, I hit 5 out of 12, had a nice profit of well over $50. Kim and I had a nice dinner at the Yard House. After dinner, we saw the Christmas Lights Spectacular show outside the Yard House in the Villages at Gulfstream. And here's a glimpse at part of it. Sunday ended the week on a disappointing note where I didn't have a single winner. Interesting that I lost 3 races at odds on, 3-5, 3-2, and 3-5. My second choice, the prize play, in all 3 of those races, won all those races. And I also had a winner in race 6. My third choice was Rico Suave. I decided to pass the race. That horse won and paid $84.80 on a $2 bet. Wow. Next week, Christmas Day is on Tuesday, and then on December 26th, it's opening day at Santa Anita, as well as racing continuing at Gulfstream Park.